All right. So let's discuss what's the doubts for Vaishnavi. So Vaishnavi, can you just share your screen and let me know where is the errors or doubts you're facing?
The exercise was about we have to check the LT
Yeah,
statement.
so just share, yeah, yeah, share
Hmm.
your screen and show me your PDF book on which you are working with.
Okay. Visible.
Yeah, yeah, just to make it a full screen, please. No, 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 no. Huh, correct. Just increase, yeah. So which topic you had errors or a doubt?
I was doing the exercise.
Hmm.
So here they are saying that if it is opening in the location, this location, it is no need. But if it is in some other location, so please change the path
Yeah,
like that.
so yesterday I already said that we have to connect our data files from your SaaS Studio location.
Hmm.
Correct. So this is the drive location which is there in the code. Now we are going to go work. So we are going to work for PROG1 folder path.
Hmm.
So that, and don't
Yes.
work with percent-led path currently. What it is, I'll let you know later. Just try to work with your other areas apart from, give me your own remote control. Okay,
Hmm.
fine. So here, do not work with percent-led or percent create. Okay, so that is a different concept. So that is not going to work here in studio. That is for your environment, which is windowing environment or EG. Okay, so don't work with
Okay.
create data. Rest you can work apart from that.
Okay,
Okay, yeah.
so I was just trying to do that this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yesterday's all topics means what you covered, it was okay.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
fine,
Hmm.
good. So let's start our day.
I have this means I run this code. You asked now that I have to run
Correct,
this. So this
labeling.
was also there means it was saved, I guess.
Yeah.
So we have to keep it means like that only, or we
So
can
no,
just.
no, no. In future, whenever we'll be working on any demonstrations on activities, which is a predefined codes which is provided to us, do not save any predefined codes. Otherwise, it will get overwritten with the changes what we are doing. And
Hmm.
then later on, when you are in future, when you're practicing on the same code, you will already have the solutions in your code. So do not save any of your codes. Okay, Nagendra and Vaishnavi.
Shall I remove this?
No,
Yes.
no, no, don't
No.
save because here you see in file
No.
statement, if you observe, it's telling
Hmm.
you to read the path for your new emps.csv file. So we
Hmm.
saw yesterday that from your databases where we have this data file for new emps.csv, you have to
Hmm.
take the path from
Path
here. Correct.
reallocation.
So once you take this path and you work here and you execute and you get the required output, okay? And we are working on all our upcoming codes, okay? So if I execute this, it's working. So everything is done and you are no more requiring. So do not save anything. Just when you are canceling this, it will ask you, do you want to save this
Hmm.
activity? Do not save so that you will get the same code without the changes again whenever you are revising in future.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. So meanwhile, Sharda, I've mailed you some information. So there are some data files which you have to upload into SAS Studio. Okay. So at this point, what you can do is you can just observe or go to, you can just see how we are working and later on, I'll help you how to upload it into your studio. Or what you can do is, just share your screen with me
Yeah, just a sec.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see Vaishnavi. Sorry.
Yeah, fine. So what you have to do, I have sent you some data file, which is .rar file. You will have to download it and extract it, and then that data file you'll have to upload into our studio. Then only you will be able to create the library for Orion datasets.
You have
Understood?
you have shared it in through WhatsApp or
Email.
email. This is the one, right? PDF. I'll have to download this.
Yes, you'll have to download this as well, and go to your previous email. Go back. You have another email. .rar files, correct. Yeah, this one .rar downloads. Here LWPG1. Correct. Those are the data files. So just open it and download it. Download it to your drive where you would like to save it. Give me the control of your screen, Sharda. So this is still opening into Google only. Okay, so you need to download it.
Okay, you take the control.
Yeah. So what you can do is, where it is. So where do you save most of your files? F or E drive.
F drive you can save it.
So here you can create a new folder, name it as SAS. Do you have this .rar file to extract? You don't have. Okay. So you don't have this software where you can extract it. So you will be using this. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
What you have to do is, you need to download your RAR files. It got hanged? I don't know.
No, it is showing, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device?
Yes, yes.
I'll have to say yes, right?
Yeah, yeah. Install. Okay. Done. Okay. So now it is showing you in the zip folder, okay?
Correct.
We'll have to extract this. Again, it got hanged.
No, it is archiving. It is showing it has stopped working.
Yeah.
I'll have to close this program now.
No, one sec. Yeah, you can close this when so select files home folder, left hand side. Files home, up.
Yeah, right?
No. Below
File-
folder, below folder shortcuts, you have
Yeah.
file home.
Home, okay.
Just click that. Do not select any arrow.
Okay.
Click the folder, Sharda.
Yeah, it is highlighted, right? Clicked.
No, you have to click it. Yeah,
Okay.
right click, new folder. Give this folder name as prog1. Save. Now right click this prog1 and use upload file options. Below, change the file location. Choose files.
Choose files.
Go to your F drive. Select your SAS folder. Select your prog1 folder. Within it, select LWPG1. No, the folder which is extracted. Yeah, select all these files. Control all. Open and upload it. So these are your programming data files which you will be using throughout your SAS Programming 1 course. And for this data files, you are going to connect it into SAS by using an ORAN library. Okay.
Okay. Good.
So now how to work on this is this chapter which we'll be working on. So you can stop sharing your screen.
Okay.
Okay, I hope all of you can view my screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So today we are going to start lesson 3, which is accessing data. Okay, so in lesson 2, we got introduced to SAS programming, how one can use the program, how can one open the program, how one can submit the program. Then we saw the interactions between the code window, the log window, the result window, and what is the output data window. Then we saw that the SAS programming syntaxes are been C or there are certain syntax errors. And what are those syntax errors? So can you just anyone brief tell us what are the 4 types of syntax errors? Yes.
Yeah, the first one is misspelled keywords. The second one is unmatched quotation marks.
Okay.
The third one is missing semicolons.
Hmm.
The fourth one is invalid option.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Agreed, Vaishnavi and Nagendra.
Yes, agreed.
Correct. So that was the syntax error. Then we had seen how the syntax errors appears, then how we correct it, then what is the difference between warning and error. Of course, very clear-cut line is that warning and error, don't ever tell that warning occurs in green and errors occur in red. That is a very childish way of looking into it. Major way of explaining the difference between warning and error is that warning comes when SAS finds there is a syntactical or there is some data error, but SAS still processes it, it never stops. But in error, it stops there and there and never ever process your data. Okay. All right. So that was the basics about how your SAS program is and how it works and how we submit it. Now let's start with accessing data. In this we have two topics, which is examining SAS dataset and accessing SAS libraries. So let's understand the first topic, which is examining SAS dataset. So we have objectives here that will be defining the components of SAS dataset. We'll use the contents procedure to browse the descriptor portion of a SAS dataset. We'll use the procedure print to browse the data portion. Then we'll define the SAS variables, we'll define missing values, and we'll define the date values. Okay, so these are some of the topics which I have to cover in this current topic of examining SAS data. So whenever we are learning in our syllabus, every concept is been explained through a business scenario. Okay, so now the scenario is it's telling you do have already existing SAS data sets. Okay, so many SAS data sets relate to the Orion Star project are already existing. So the programmer needs to know how to display the structure and contents of your data set. So before working, being a data analyst, it's very much prerequisite as an analyst and a very good practice that you should always understand your input data on which you have to process and generate the output. So to understand your data, there are ways to look into it. So that's what we are looking at, and that is what is expected. They are telling you should know how to display the structure and contents to the SAS dataset, so that you will be able to generate a report. Until and unless you do not understand your input data, you won't be able to write the program correctly. Otherwise, you'll be sitting and doing trial and error of your code to achieve the output. But to achieve the output, it is very much understanding that you should first understand your business requirement. And depending on your business requirement, you should always understand how is your data structure, and that is what we are going to look into. So to begin with, it's telling that very basic concepts about SAS tables. So the terminologies here we are going to use is that now we know that the table in SAS is of course like a very general table which are we widely seen. Just hold on. So in SAS also the table appears with rows and columns that we had seen. But only the terminology is that we never call it as table because it's into SAS environment, we term it as SAS dataset. And the columns we term it as variables, and the observations we term it as, rows we term it as observations. So it's actually a table, same with rows and columns. This is how its icon looks into SAS environment with a dot. So columns are termed as variables, whereas rows are termed as observations, and a table is termed as a SAS data set. All good? So this is what they wanted to highlight
Yes.
it. Okay. Moving ahead, when we are telling we are working on a SAS data set, a SAS data set always comprises of two portions. One is a data portion, second is a descriptor portion, or you can term a descriptor portion and a data portion. So what is a descriptor portion? So the word descriptor itself, it indicates that it is describing in general or a brief description about your table. That is, what is your table name? When was it is created? How many rows? How many columns? Okay, whether your data is sorted, not sorted. Then if it has columns, what are the column names? What is it type? What is its length? All this information comes into descriptive portion. And data portion is nothing but the data values. Okay, so that's what we are going to see in detail. The descriptor portion is what I was telling you, a brief description about your data set, about the variables, its type, its length. Okay, so dollar here indicates it's a character type of variable. So moving back into our studio. Yes, where is it? This is what I started it, so I'm not saying. Okay, so this was my data. Yesterday we were working, right? So we'll work on the same data file only to understand its descriptor portion. Fine. So I'm checking the path for my data set, which is new EMPS data. Execute your data step. So once you see, you find when you submit a data step, you get the output into data output window, which is actually a SAS data set, okay, which has columns, which has rows. So this is how you view the data into data pane of SAS Studio. So this is the data. And at the left hand side also it describes the data columns, its name, its type. So this triangle with the letter A indicates it's a character type of column. And when you have this type of icon, it indicates it's a numeric type of column. So when I click this at the bottom of when I click this at bottom, I see the properties of the column. So it's telling it's the name of the column, label of the column, the maximum length, and the type of the column. So this is non-programmatically, I view the description about my table. But how I work with programmatically. So to work programmatically, it's termed as proc. Contents is the procedure where I'll be checking for the contents or the descriptor portion. So see, when I start typing this, I see that contents comes and it's telling, it shows the contents of a SAS data sets and prints its directory of its library. So what does it mean? So because it's a contents, the process, the syntax is proc contents data equal to, so which data set we are working? So the data set which we had created was work.new cells EMPS. So which was this, correct? So this is the data set which we had created. So I'm selecting this data set name, or to go into more brief, let's have, do not disturb. I'm not disturbing this code at all. So I'm writing it into a new window and I see the contents here by simply ending my step with run. So now I submit this proc contents. Of course, it's a procedure. It is going to give me the result into result window. So when I submit a procedure content, I get this output. So when I see this output, I have this output coming into three portions. First portion is the general information about a data set. It's telling what is the name of the data set, how many observations it has, how many variables it has, what is its member type. Yes, it's a data type. Because it's a SAS data set, it's showing it's having V9 as its engine. So its engine is nothing but the basic software of SAS, and it is depending on various versions. Current version it's running is V9. Okay. So when this data was created, when modified, is this data compressed? Is this data sorted? Okay. And of course, it's coding or encoding what is the font and all, and what is the data representation means what is the system it is operating. So that all details it's giving. So this is the general data set information, the first portion. Then the next portion, which is highlighting, is engine host dependent information. Engine means what? This engine, which is related to SAS software. So now because it's a SAS data set, please make a note. SAS data files in SAS environment are saved as pages. Okay. So those pages, maximum page size, it's telling you. Then depending on the number of observations and columns, this data set it's requiring, or it starts with first page, and this data set data is into only one page because it has hardly 71 observations and 4 variables. Okay. Maximum observations per page can be fit is 2043. Observations on first page for this data is 71. Okay. Then it's telling what is its file path. So this is the file path which is trying to tell you it's with respect to the server area on your SAS studio. Okay. And it's telling it's new cells emps.7 dat. So you know this extension .7 dat indicates it's a SAS dataset, and this dataset is now being saved into your environment of SAS within this path. Okay, it's just general information. Then the what is the operating environment? Now, though it is a cloud application, but the operating environment it uses Linux. Then it's having a read, write, and activity or access permissions. Now the owner, because it's me who have logged in into my own account and I'm working on this data. So this is the username. You people will have your own user ID, some which starts with U and some number. Okay. What is the file size in KB and what is the file size in bytes? So this is general information about your engine dependent data set. And the third portion comes is alphabetic list of variables and its attributes. Attributes indicates characteristics of columns. So it's telling the columns in your data is first name, job title, last name, salary. There are types, maximum length required to store the value in the data. This is the length. And why it's telling alphabetic list and what is this? So look at these numbers. They are not at all in their order. Why? Because it's telling it's alphabetic. That means though this is the first column into the data, its number is 1, it's showing you alphabetically. Now job title is actually original position in the data. It is third column, but because it's alphabetically arranged, it's showing it into alphabetic list. Understood now, everyone? Yes. Nagendra, Vaishnavi, Sharda.
But can we change the alphabetical order like regular?
Yeah, you can change it. So there is an option over there which you need to check it into your SAS documentation, and actually you have to work on it. Okay. So depending on that also we can see, but this is how it gives you the contents, which is the descriptor portion, that is the general information about your data. Now, in case, as Sharda said, can we change this order, which is alphabetic, but she wants to see it into the original order of your columns. So there is an option which you can use in proc contents. So these are the various options which it tells that you have centiles, okay, data, you have all these options, and you also have an option called as varnam. Okay, so what this varnam does, prints a list of variable names in order of their positions as the logical positions into dataset. So this is the varnam option. So when you submit this proc contents, you will be able to see the alphabetic. It's no more now alphabetic. It's just giving you a title, variables in creation order. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is the original order where you have these columns arranged in your data. All good? Yes.
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 So this is all about your syntax will see now for context. So this is what it is. So this is the syntax, and you give this syntax for your current data set which you have created. Okay. So when you submit this proc contents, it will give you the general information about the data set, engine host information, and alphabetic list of variables and their attributes. So this is how you get 3 portions of proc contents into your output. All good? So proc contents is also one means where when you see your result, it also tells how many observations your data set has and how many variables. Okay. Now, depending on this, it's an activity which is to work on. So I'm working on this activity. Do not work until I tell you. So it's activity for chapter 3, A01. So it's about we are going to work on a data set called donations.dat. Now, this data sets which we are using with an in-file statement, make a note, are not raw file, are not at all SAS data sets. Those are all raw files. So the earlier data set, new cell CNPS is also not a data set. It's a raw file, which is a non-SAS file, which is a .csv file. That is why we have to give the information with in-file statement telling the path where this raw file resides. Then we have to tell that how the columns has to be read with this input statement, the column orders in the raw file or in the file, it has to read it in this order. And you are giving the maximum length so that it adjusts the values. So this is the data step where you are creating a data set by reading from a raw file. Whereas in this activity, the same thing, but only difference is this raw file is .dat. Okay. So let's work to read this non-SAS file, which is .dat file. So I'm copying the path for this. I'm pasting this within this in file statement. All good? And now I'm submitting this data step. So it's telling in file statement uses Microsoft Windows path. The earlier path which was there, it was related to the windowing environment. But as per your environment which you're working, you have to accordingly update the path. That's what this comment is telling. Okay. So when I submit this data step, it's going to create a data set. It's also describing how many data set variables it has and columns it has. Okay. So columns and observations. So 124 rows, 6 columns. So as per your current activity, it's telling use proc contents and tell how many observations you have. So as per this activity, let's use proc contents data equal to the data set which we have created is work.donations. I'm using run. So when I submit this proc contents, it's going to give me the descriptor portion of my data set where it is going to show the result and it's telling how many observations it has. So what is the question? How many observations are in your data set work.donations? So can you tell me the answer? How many observations?
124. 120.
Absolutely. So there are various ways to answer this question. Either you can use proc contents where it is going to tell you the rows, or when I execute this data step, it executes and creates a data set into a data set output window. Here also it tells how many observations. And when you check your log also tells that it is reading from a raw file, hence the term is record. So it's reading all 124 records from this external file with in-file statement with maximum record length, minimum record length, and look at the terminology. It's telling a data set named work.donations has 124 observations and 6 variables. So data step used. That means data statement or data step executed successfully. So this is also one area where log where you can check that log also gives you the message about how many observations it's been reading to create a new data set. Understood, everyone? So this is, you can check the
Yes.
descriptor portion of your data. You
Can we do this practice right
yeah,
now?
yeah. So you can
Okay.
open this activity and work on it.
P101.
So it's written here P103A01.
It's saying procedure content not found.
Please check the spelling, what it is, what are you typing. Vaishnavin Sharma, I hope you people are able to work on this.
Yeah, I'm working.
Done. It should not take long time because the code is already available. You just have to write proc contents. Yes.
No, it's not.
Did you
Not
change the
section.
path for your file which
In
we are
file,
reading? Yes.
yeah, I changed it.
Show your screen. Make the screen bigger, please. Yeah. You've written correctly, right? So submit this data step.
Proc
Only
or
submit the data step. Data step. Only data step first.
oh,
All right. So data set is
okay.
created. Fine. Show your code now.
Hmm.
Go back into your code. Submit proc contents. Okay.
Got.
It's working.
I didn't submit
Without
this one.
creating a data file,
Hmm.
no procs will process. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Nagendra, how about you?
Some error is coming.
Just share your screen, please.
Mm,
Show me your log first. Log a window for this code. So it's telling file does not exist. So go back to your code. What is the path you have given? So do we have a path like this P101A0? So you should give here the dataset name now which you are reading, which is donation.dat. It's not in libraries. in files and folders, servers, files, folders. Then prog1 dot dat dot dat, right click, properties. See what is it? prog1 folder में donations
yes.
dot dat है. अरे वो सारा select करो ना dot dat also, because that is the type of the file.
Yes.
Now submit it. अभी data step, सिर्फ data step select करके submit करो. Now you have a data file. Now go back
Yes.
into code and submit your proc content.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Done? Yes.
Yes, yes.
Sharda?
Yes, I also got it.
Okay, great. So this was all about a procedure content, which is to check the descriptor portion. So let me give the information for myself that what this proc content is, that it is going to show or view the descriptor portion of a data set, which is of course a SAS data set. Fine. Now, if you can see the contents by using a data portion, then what is, by using by a descriptor by looking into proc contents, then what is a data portion? So data portion is nothing but the data values. So how do you see the data values? So best thing is when you are opening this data set, you see this all, it is nothing but data value, but it is into a table. Let's do it programmatically by writing a proc print. So I'm going to use proc print data equal to work dot donations. Run. So this is also going to give you the information, which is the data portion of your data. So you see the data portion. So by using proc print. So proc print not only lists all rows and columns, of course, it's a data portion. So this is what it is showing, all your 6 columns, including 71 rows or 124 observations. Sorry. Got it?
Yes.
So this is, you view the data portion by using proc print. So please type this as well.
Yes.
Yeah, got
Okay.
it.
Understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see the same into your slides. So we saw this descriptor portion by using proc contents, correct? Now we are going to see the data portion. So data portion is nothing but data values. So your data values are going to be depending on your column type, character, and numeric. Okay, so this is the name of the columns and this is the data values. And data values are character type and numeric type. So how do you view the data portion? By using proc. Okay, so this is what you see the data portion of your data set by using proc print. Okay, so now these are certain rules which you have to follow when you are creating a SAS data set columns, that is variables. So the rule is your variable names, that is your column names, should not be more than 32 characters long. It should be between 1 to 32. That's simple to understand. Then must start with a letter or underscore. Subsequent characters can be letters, underscores, or numerals. That means it should not have any special signs and spaces. Okay. Can be uppercase, lowercase, mixed case. It's not at all case sensitive. That's what it's telling. Starting with a letter or an underscore, subsequent can be letter, underscore, or number. starts with a letter, and you can have mixed numbers, mixed case. Okay. If you have followed this, the naming conventions of column names, answer this poll. Which variable names are invalid? Select all those are invalid between A to G. Yes.
C hash is used.
Okay. C is first option. Any more?
D also, the space.
Okay. And yes, Vaishnavi and Nagendra.
And the second one, it started with the numeric. Is it fine? Or it should
No,
start with
as per this nomenclature, check whether it is fitting, correct or right.
Sorry, it is wrong. It's starting with the numeric.
Correct. So Vaishnavi and Deepak, do you, sorry, Nagendra, do you
No,
agree?
can you just show me the first slide again? Okay.
Now answer this.
Yeah, D. D is invalid.
Okay.
D, C. We can put other variable like data 5-month. We can put 5-month data.
Read this and you judge and tell me.
Mixed case.
Okay. Now answer.
B is incorrect.
Okay. So the options invalid are B, C, and D. Okay. All good?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So now when we saw the nomenclatures of column names, so the values in SAS are always two types. Please make a note. Character and numeric. Okay. So character values can contain letters, numbers, special characters, and blank. And it can range between 1 to 32,767 characters long. One character is equivalent to 1 byte. So this is, we are talking about the data values, okay, which are character type. Numeric values, it's telling it will only store numbers. Okay, and numbers in SAS is stored as floating point or binary presentations within SAS. So it's not like characters that 1 byte equivalent to 1 character. So in numbers, it's not like this. It has a default storage area of 8 bytes, and within 8 bytes, it can store nearly 16 or 17 digits. All good? Everyone? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then how does SAS saves or represents missing values? So missing values in SAS is missing only. It will not represent with any other signs. Like for example, in Excel, we cannot keep a cell blank. If it is missing for number, we have to give it 0. Agreed? Yes? Agreed, people? Vaishnavi,
Yes.
Nagendra, yes. So in SAS, the numeric missing value is represented as period. A dot in SAS is termed as period, whereas for character, it is going to be blank. So for SAS, missing is missing. You do not have to represent with any character value or any numeric digit as zero. Because SAS is developed as a statistical system. So in statistics, zero has values. Mathematically, zero is a null value, but in SAS, zero has value. That is why numeric missing values are always represented as period. And that is where the strength of SAS accuracy comes for missing values. All good? Yes? With me, everyone?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then how about dates? So if we saw this, that this is the numbers and character data value, and we have seen that SAS can save the characters. So in SAS, there are two types of variables, character and numeric. Then what about dates? So what do you think the date values would be saved into SAS, either character or numeric?
Numeric.
Okay. Vaishnavi Nagendra, what's your view?
I think it's alpha numeric. Both.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Vaishnavi
both I
Nagendra.
can alphanumeric, yeah, we can keep, I guess.
But then it's telling that in SAS we have character
Character
value
values.
and numeric. Then how it comes into alphanumeric? Nagendra, any idea?
My numeric.
No. Okay. So SAS never has any third type of data type
Yes.
like other databases where the depending on the data value you have various data types, like you term it as floating point number, you give it as digit integer type of value, you save it as date type value, or you save character, you save alphanumeric. It's not in SAS. SAS only two types, character and numeric. And when it comes to date, dates in SAS are saved as numbers or it is numeric. So why and how it calculates into the number of days. So in the system of SAS, the date when it was developed is been registered into the system as 1st Jan 1960. So within the SAS system, the date 1st Jan 1960 is saved as 0 day. Okay. Any date post 1st Jan 1960 is calculated according to 1st Jan 1960 and save it as number of days. So this date 1st Jan 1961 is one year or later. So it is saving it as 366 days. All good?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
1st Jan 1960, before it is saved into negative. So 1 year before 1st Jan 1959 is saved as minus 365 days. All good?
Yes.
Yes.
And to display, it displays by using a format. Either you use month, day, year format or day, year, month format. So this is the way it displays. But originally in SAS system, the date is saved as number of days, which it calculates from 1st Jan 1960 till a specific date. All good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So to understand this, I'll be working on this activity. Do not work until I tell you. Fine. So this is a data step where we are creating a data set called date, and you are creating a variable called current date where the value is coming from a system defined function called today with a null parenthesis. So this is a function of today with a null parenthesis, which will extract your system's current date. Okay, which extracts system's current date. So I submit this data and I check its output. I find this date column appears with some digits or numbers. So what are these numbers? We don't know. We cannot interpret. But this is the date for your current system, which it is showing you in the form of number of days, which it has calculated from 1st Jan 1960 till date. These are the number of days which is showing you. How do you understand this is the same date? So what I'm going to do is, I'm just creating another column named as formatted date, and the value for this is coming from your date variable which we have created is current date. Okay, then I'm using a format statement and I'm applying a format on my column called as formatted date. I'm applying a format of ddmmyy 10 dot. So what is this 10 dot and all? I'll explain you at this point. Just understand it is the same date, but I'm applying a format with this date, which is 23rd July 2023, in my system is stored as 23,000 day 214th day. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, so this is where in my proc print, when I'm generating a result, I'm using a format statement on the column on which I'm applying a format of ddmmyy 10 dot. So what is this 10? It's the total width, including the 2 slashes, and this digits its total width. So if you check this, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay,
Okay.
so this is that digit. Decrease this digit, I'll find that the width is decreased, the date is accordingly adjusted to display. So because it's 8, it's trying to
Okay.
fit it within the 8 digits. So your 4-digit year is now reduced to 2 digits. I further reduce this date to 6 width. So it will try to fit it within the 6 width. So no more the forward slashes, it's just 2307 23.
23.
All good?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is what the format is. So there are various formats. So I have shown you this one format, which is ddmmyy 10 dot. You have mmddyy 10 dot as well, where the same date can be applied with the with the format of mmdd, that is month, day, and year. All good?
Yeah.
So this is the format name, and this format name we provide with a period. So once, if I don't write this period, look at the change in the color. So it's very much important to give this period so that SAS understands and it differentiates that this is the column name and this is the format name which we are applying on this column to display the value. If I remove this period and if I submit this proc print, it is not going to give me any type of error. It's showing you the same date. It's not understanding your format, but it's showing you an alarm. So when you check your log, the alarm is telling that in this proc print, when it read your format statement, on format statement, it found this column and it is finding mmddyy10. So it's treating this as one of the variable in your data set. And that is why it's telling this data set variable does not exist. It's not at all an error, but it's still processing and it gives you the result. But your formatted date is not at all giving the format applied. So that is why, to differentiate that this is the format and this is the name of the format, we have to give the period. And now you can execute it. Understood?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is one type of format. There are various formats. In upcoming topics, you do have a separate topic itself about the formats. So we'll see it in detail there. But this is just, I wanted to show you that this is also one of the format of date 9 dot. So this will appear as 23 July 2023. Okay. All good.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is what the date is. So when you see this activity, so it will show you your system's current date. Any questions here?
No.
Okay. So try to work on this activity, chapter 3A02. and then I'll give you time to work on exercise. Go ahead.
Ashwini, the previous data I was unable to run because it was showing the error as in the log donation file does not exist. So
So
that
just
I have
share
to
your
type-
screen. Share your screen, please. So until and unless you don't have a data set, the proc will not work. So the name is what you have given you the name of your work dot donation, and what is the name you have given for the data sets in data statement? It's donations.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah. Got it now? Understood.
Yeah. So here, as you explained, the dot is it's a blank
Missing numeric
missing
values.
numeric is
So that, yeah,
represented by dot.
yeah. So the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 are numeric columns. So it is the data that the employee is donating. Okay, so this employees have not donated in quarter 1, quarter 2, and so on. All good?
Okay. No, but in the previous session, you explained there is a library name, no? That also, that should be kept as a active window.
No, I'll let you know about libraries later on.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Just work with that activity. Done, everyone? Yes, no.
Yeah, understood the concept, but something is missing, like formatted date. Formatted date is equals to.
Array, this is the new column we are creating, and the
Yes.
value for this new column is coming from current date, which is taking the value from today. That's it. Because if I don't use this statement, of course, both the columns are going to have the same type of values because this formatted dates value is coming from current date. This is termed as assignment statement to create a new variable and the value is coming from current date. See?
Yes, ये तो इसमें इतना एग्जीक्यूट तो हो गया.
हाँ, तो ये अगर हम लोग फॉर्मेट नहीं करते हैं तो ये डिफरेंशिएशन समझ में नहीं आएगा.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay, ladies.
Yes.
What we can do is, we can take a 10 minutes break and we can resume back for our next topic. It's almost 11:15. We'll resume at 11:25. Okay?
Okay.
Fine. Thank you. So when we saw this activity, we saw it is showing you the current date of your system. And you have an exercise. So I leave this exercise to you as a self-study. Okay? So now let's see how to access SAS libraries and understand the concept of libraries. So objective here is we'll explain the concept of a SAS library. We'll state the difference between a temporary library and a permanent. We'll use libname statement to assign a library reference name to a SAS library and we'll investigate a SAS library programmatically and interactively as well. So let's understand the concept of libraries. So it's a general open question. So you people let me know what is the concept of libraries in your mind. General.
Library where a lot of books are there storing data.
Storing. Yeah.
Absolutely. At one point, you find there are books, but the books are not piles of books haphazardly been kept, right? So it's very neatly, sophisticatedly, section-wise, the things have been arranged, right? Same thing when it comes to a concept of a data where you have the data stored at various path or at various locations within your system, how that location can be connected into SAS environment, and that path actually is termed as a library in our computer language. All good? Okay. So let's see the same thing here. So business scenario, Orion SAP programmers need to access existing SAS datasets. So they need to understand how the datasets are stored in SAS. So being a beginner into this organization and being a new programmer, you have to understand the datasets, where they are stored and how they can be connected. Okay. So as we know everyone, that this is the path where we have prog1 folder and within it we have the files. So I had explained that when it is .ss7bdat, it is actually a SAS data set and .dat or .sav are non-Excel files. .xls is non-Excel files. Oh, sorry, non-SAS files, correct? So when I try to open this, the SAS files, it opens into a data pane like this into rows and columns. But this extension still tells us that this is a data set of SAS, but it is stored external into a server. It is not yet connected into SAS environment. Okay. So to connect this SAS file into your SAS environment, we are going to make use of a syntax which is termed as a libname statement. Make a note is a statement. I'm not talking, it's a step. So being a statement, it will not end with a run step. Okay. So I'm going to refer all my folders path within this libning. Okay. And now when I submit this, let's check our log. The log is telling libref Orion was successfully assigned as follows. Because it has all SAS files, its engine is V9 and the path where it is connecting physically within your SAS environment, the path is this where it has created, this path becomes the library. All good? So anything within this library referred with the name Orion, that means it's this path, it is your data sets path. So where is the library physically seen within your studio? In your libraries section, you have all other libraries. Apart from it, now you'll find Orion. When you click this down arrow, you'll find these are the data sets. Now they don't have an extension .ss7b dat. So that means this is the data sets within SAS environment, and within this folder, see it is having the same data sets coming on to your library with Orion reference. All good?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in case if I want to see the output or a data portion for charities data set, how I'm going to look into it is now. Normally, if I wouldn't have created any type of library, I would have written print data equal to, I would have given the data sets path from this files and folder. Agreed? Normally, I would have given it in this way and submitted. So this will process my charities data set from the path and it is giving me a data output. But is it feasible every time to give the path for your data set in your programming? Because it's fine now, it's a classroom training, it's a small path. But when you're working into live scenario, you know, there are various servers where your data is saved. And at various servers, you know, the complications of the path. Are you getting it, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, no. So
Yes.
instead of that, so if you observe this carefully for this data set, this path is the same, which is equivalent to your Orion library path. So why don't you just remove this all and refer this path with Orion name and you give the dataset name named as 2-level SAS dataset name. So what is this 2-level SAS dataset name? The 2-level SAS dataset name indicates the library reference name and the dataset name. So this period is to delimit that this is the library and this is the dataset. We call it libref.file. So it's like the name, like we sometimes say, like a name and a first name and a last name. So this is the library reference telling that this data set is referred to this library. And what is this library? It's nothing but this path. So when I execute this code, no need of quotations. So now when I execute this code, one sec, I'll just keep this as it is. Okay. So this is the path and this is the simplest way how we refer a data file with 2 levels as data set. So it's going to process equally the same. The best part is to use a libref.file name. Same thing, I can write it with proc contents to check the contents of this data. And check the contents. See, so this is more better than giving the whole path. This concept is library. All good? So this is our user-defined library. That means it's we who have created, and it's one of the permanent libraries. Why? Because this path is permanent. So we are just connecting into SAS environment to seed the information into SAS. We term it as user-defined permanent library with the name of Orion. Okay? Anything which you refer to save within this Orion, it will be saved within this path permanently. Just connect it every time and you'll be seeing that data set. All good? Yes? Okay. So Orion Star programmers need to access the existing SAS datasets. So they need to understand how datasets are stored in SAS. So we have to understand the concept of SAS libraries. So your data sets are stored in SAS libraries, and SAS library is nothing but a collection of SAS files. Understand the term I'm using, SAS files. I'm not telling Excel files, CAT files, CSV files, Oracle files. No, those are different softwares. The engines are different. But this is the collection of only SAS data sets with .SAS7b dat as its extension. Okay? So files are of two types, temporary or permanent. So whenever we start your session, by default, SAS provided us one temporary and one permanent library. So one of the permanent is existing in your SAS studio, which is SAS help, and the temporary is work. So it's default whenever we are going to create this. If you have seen earlier data set, default we are saving it into work library. So work library is available here. So you will see this, the data sets, whatever we have created, date, donations, new cells in place is into work library. So this section of work library, whatever we save into this is temporary. It's only for this session. Once I end the session, whatever data files I have saved in this work library is deleted from the memory. All good?
Means on its own it will get deleted.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And there is one permanent which is default provided, SAS help, where we have access for it. Hence you'll find this data files. All others are from SAS, but we are having by default for this program or for this session, or sorry, for the system, for studio, SAS help is permanent and work is temporary. Apart from this two, we have created our own user-defined library, which is Orion.
Orion.
Okay. Oh, this is what it's telling. So work, it's the information within it, the files within it is only for the duration of the current SAS session. So it is a default temporary library. Either whenever you're working with this data files, okay. So this is one of the permanent, which is SAS. So whenever you're referring any data set's name, you can refer with two-level SAS dataset name. One is with the libref and one is with the dataset. So libref dataset, libref dataset. But any data when you refer into work library, so it's not always recommended that you should write it with the libref. So this is also termed as one-level SAS dataset name. So this is by default understood by SAS that when we do not refer any type of library reference to a data set, and I submit this procedure, it is default reading from a work library. See, it's processing it, no error, no message. And at the same time, it's telling that when it is worked on it, it's giving you the output and it's by default going to refer it from your work library. Same thing, if I remove this work reference from your proc print as well, and I submit this proc print, it will still process because default look for a data set, if you do not write any libref, SAS by default looks for that data set into work and see what it's telling. By default, it looks into work library. See? Did I give you a reference to read it from work? No. So it is
No.
one level dataset name. Default, it is referred to be saved or read from work library. Got it?
Yes.
But for permanent, it's not like this. You have to refer with two levels as dataset name. Okay? So that's what it's telling. When a dataset is in temporary work library, you can use one level dataset name. Example is simply give the name as new cells EMPS. Apart from this, one can always create your own libraries with the name of Orion, which is one of the permanent library. So user-defined libraries is created by user. It is permanent. Datasets are stored until user deletes them. Is not automatically available in the SAS session. Hence, at the beginning of every session, it is recommended to every time connect your session by using your libname statement.
Yes.
Okay? So it's always recommended whenever you start your session, connect your data files with a libname session. This path is constant, so anything saved to refer in this path is there, everything, the reference for that data in this path itself. But you refer it with the name as Orion, or you can also refer the same thing with the name. Because we are working for Orion organization, it's simple to refer further. So you write Orion, or you can also write as prog1. All good?
Yeah.
Now, how you renamed the file, the path name?
Path is already the same. I'm
Yeah.
just referring it with the new library name. It's going to be the same. So I'll have the same data files, but with two library references. So when I check my log, I'll have prog1 also. I have Orion also. So I'm referring with a separate name.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
That's
It's
it.
first you took it from the folder, which is the prog one, but the other one you took it from the Orion which we created.
So now the path is same, but the reference name for the paths are now different. Either you refer prog1 or you rely Orion. The output for the data set is going to be the same because the path is same.
Yes. How to save the path name with Word, like you saved with Orion?
I think you
Yes.
have to
Yeah.
simply save this code now with the lib
Okay.
name, which we have done first day only.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Lib name के नाम से हमने
Yes.
save किया था. Correct. The
Yes.
code was saved as a lib name like this, so which I have it.
Yes.
Understood? Okay. So this is what it's telling. Okay, so it's telling it's implemented within the environment of operating system. The path it is talking that this is referred strictly with the working environment which we are using. Okay. So this depending on your operating environment, the path changes. That's what they are telling. So this is what it's telling that this is a global statement. Why it is termed as a global statement? Because once we submit this activity of your libname to get connected for this path with the name of Orion, this is valid throughout your session until and unless you end or cancel your session or update the name of your session path. Otherwise, it is unchanged and it is used throughout your session. You no need to execute every time you execute any proc step or data step. So it's one-time execution. Hence, it's termed as global statement. Got it? Understood?
Yes.
So this lib name, once we are creating, anyone can see because it's a global SAS statement.
It's a statement within the session, Sharda.
Then
It's not anyone. It's you who are working on your session. I'm working in my session. I cannot see in your session, right? It's a global statement. That means the effect of it is available throughout your session until you end your session. You no need of every time resubmit it. That's what the statement means, a global statement.
Okay,
It
got
is not that multiple users. It's not at that sense. The effect of this statement is throughout your session. So every time you don't have to now, when I'm working into this program, I don't have to again resubmit a libname statement. Once I've connected, it's done. It's there. Library is there. I don't have to resubmit every time. That is what it's termed as global statement. Got it?
Means the data is being picked up from the library.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
There into the
opening,
session.
Okay.
There
opening the
into the
library.
session. Yeah. It's like you have just connected it and kept it into session of your SAS. Whenever you want, you just refer it with Orion reference. You don't have to every time resubmit when you want it. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So it is not required to be a part of any data or proc step. Hence, it's an independent statement and it not even runs with run, not even ends with run statement. It executes immediately when you submit it. It remains in effect until changed or cancelled or until the session end. Use the location of your course data file to create your library for Orion. Okay, so that's what they have said it. So here they have given the drive path, but we are using it our SAS Studio path. All good. And then any data file you want to refer from it, you give it with two levels as dataset name, like Orion.dataset name. Fine. Okay. So now once in case, now you have data files maybe in your various servers and you're connecting that server with a library. Once the work is done for that data and that is no more required by your library, what you can do is, you no more require this. You simply ask SAS to dissociate the connection by using libname prog1 clear keyword. So now you see prog1 library here. So when I execute this clear statement, I am not able to see that library again. So that is what I have dissociated the connection between SAS environment and that path. So this prog1 library, I will not able to see in my session now. Got it now?
A clear statement.
Clear. It's
Oh.
not a statement. It's an option in libname statement. See, this is a statement, right?
Yes, yes.
And it's an option in a libname statement. All good? So that's what it's telling here. To cancel a libref, submit a libname statement with clear option. To connect a library for a path, give this statement. All good? Okay, so if you have understood this, which of the following correctly assigns the libref my files to SAS library with this path or with this folder? They are creating a library named as my files. So they are creating a library, my files, and they want to connect the data files which are saved into C:/my SAS files folder. So what is the correct libname statement?
B.
B.
B. Vaishnavi, agreed? Yes. So it's libname, libref is my files, and this is the path in the quotations. Okay. So how one can browse the library? Browse means you have to simply see the contents. So non-programmatically, you can just click this library and check its contents. Non-programmatically. Either which ways, you can also check its properties and you find that this is the libname which is connecting with this path, and because it's having all SAS files, its engine is V9. So select it, and either which way is you can just view references. So this is one way where you can view your library, or this way, the same thing I had shown you, correct? Either which ways, how you can see programmatically. As you have used contents to see the descriptor portion of your SAS dataset, to see the contents of your library, use the same proc contents, but instead of writing a dataset name, use a keyword underscore all underscore, and you write option no ODS. So it is a keyword. So what does no ODS will do? It is telling no descriptor portion. That means if I don't write this, okay, just pay attention what it does. And I submit it. So check this data files, okay, and I execute it. So it's going to give me the contents of my library. So this is the general information about my library. What is the name, engine, the path, where it is, okay, what is the read write access, what is the user, space, Inca, KB and byte. And then it gives me the list of all data sets within the library. And when I scroll at the bottom, I also find procedure contents foreign.charities dataset. That means I'm getting for every data set its detailed descriptor portion. Getting it? But this is not expected. So to avoid the every data sets descriptor portion, I just want to see the contents, that what are the data files. I suppress the descriptor portion of each data file to be processed. Hence, I use that NODS option. So when I use NODS option, of course, general information of library and just the list of data sets without giving any details of descriptor portion of each data set. Understood now? How we can use proc contents to check the contents of library programmatically.
Yes.
Understood? Nagendra,
Yes, we have to practice this.
I'll give you time, but when I'm explaining the concept, I solely request to first understand and then work. Do not work simultaneously, okay? I'll give you time. Fine. So what I will ask you is write a statement with this two, then write clear for clearing prog one and check this. And check this without NODS as well. Okay, try this. Don't do this part, and this part is expected. Go ahead.
Done, got it.
Understood the concept?
Yeah.
Okay. Nagendra, Raghav,
Ashwini, since I missed the previous session, so I'm trying to, connect this libname. I'm trying to create this. I'm not finding the Orion file still in the folder, libname.
show me your screen, please. Share your screen.
See here in the my library, I'm not finding.
You don't have to go into library, dear. You have to go into files and folders. There you have prog1 folder where you have your data sets. And this data sets connection you have to give into Orion. So select that prog1 folder, right click it, go into its properties. And this is the path which you have to connect. Because this is the folder where you have all SAS files. Got it now?
Yeah, because last time I had not created
It's
this.
not about last time. I explained you now also.
Okay.
Just
So-
select this statement and submit. So find library created. Now check into libraries.
Yes, I can see now.
Now check this. Click that down arrow. Now you'll see the data files. Now
Yeah.
go into your code window. Now save this as libname. Save as. Select prog1 folder, only folder, and name this as a libname. Because it's a SAS coding file, its extension is .ss.
I'll
Save.
just save.
That's it. So see here itself, the name on the code itself has come as libname. Up.
Here, here.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now try the rest part which I have asked. Nagendra, done.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood this
Understood.
concept. Try this also. And try this as well. Sharda. This too.
Yes, I'll try.
And this. Done, Sharda? Yes. Can I have reply, please?
I'm trying to, the last step I'm trying to operate. There is
Hmm.
some error it's showing.
What is the error it's telling?
It's showing invalid data set name Orion dot underscore all underscore not.
If you might have given space between dot and underscore all, it will be error. Share your screen. There is space between underscore all underscore space NODS. That NODS is a keyword. It should come in blue. And there is no dot after NODS. Yes. Give me control of your screen, please. Here there is a space here. So this is not a format. No need of giving a dot. And your clear statement should end with a semicolon. Rest all becomes blue. So this is how it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Done.
Let's move ahead.
Thank
Yes.
Oh.
All right.
इससे
So-
clear हो जाएंगे libraries will be cleared.
Yes, with clear statement, you have no connection from your studio environment to the external path. That's it. So how can you browse library, which is interactive method as well, and programmatically also. So how you see programmatically? By using proc content. So this is the syntax which you have seen. Okay. And non-programmatically is the demonstration. That's it. Any questions? And you have an exercise to browse the same by using your PDF book. You need to browse your library. All good. So this is all about your third chapter, which is understanding SAS data files and how to connect the SAS files into SAS by using a libname statement. So this is all we have done for the day. So I'm expecting you people to revise the topic thoroughly for the day so that next weekend we all are on the same path to understand and move ahead to follow the next chapter, which is producing legal report. So I expect all till date, whatever we have learned with this data of your files of accessing libraries and all from your second chapter, see to it that you revise it thoroughly. Please do not please do not come without revision because we have a 1 week's gap. I understand you people are working, but with 1 week's gap, you tend to forget what we have learned last weekend. So SAS is not a theory part, it is a practical part to be imbibed. So it is requested that daily you revise it for at least 1 hour. All good?
Yes.
Thank you all. Enjoy your Sunday. See you next Saturday, same time. Bye and take care.
Thank
Yeah, thank
This
you.
recording would be available.
Yes, I'll be sending it across maybe late evening, but I'll
Okay.
send it. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Thank you. I hope you might have received yesterday's recording as well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I have also shared an Excel sheet where the path of the recording is provided. So you
Yes.
might have received that mail also.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you all. Thanks, Vaishnavi. Thanks, Sharda. See you next Saturday, same time. Till then, bye and take care.